According to World Bank, almost 40% of the world's population lives on less than $2 a day. 20% lives with no electricity. It'd be ideal to live in a world where those suffering had access to solutions that would sustain their needs. It can be argued that governments waste money on programs such as space. That money can be used for important issues such as healthcare, poverty, disease, or education. And it'd be nice to go into space, but how can we afford it, and who really benefits? My name is Keith Pafford, and this is my persuasive speech for public speaking at Thomas Edison State College. My goal is to point out why we need the space program, and to point out how it benefits us, who it benefits, as well as how much it costs. 3 decades ago, I watched the Challenger space shuttle launch at Cape Canaveral. Back then, aviation and the space program were exciting and well respected, and they inspired me to pursue a career in aviation. When a student completes a college degree, there's no guarantee it will help them. It's an investment that increases one's chances of success. And like college, the space program is an investment, and it can be shown that its benefits are significant. Innovation drives economics, and no other industry touches so many fields than the space program. Space is a harsh environment, and it requires new ways of thinking in order to solve problems. People who learn techniques in the space program can apply them to other fields and other locations. Increased understanding of ourselves and our universe, disseminated to billions of people with billions of ideas, leads to solutions to the world's problems. It's likely that the more in-depth the space program, the greater the potential for society. The space program has given us innovations such as cell phone cameras, flat-screen TVs, microcomputers, MRIs, CAT scans, ultrasound scanners, solar cells, satellites, GPS, enriched baby food, firefighting equipment, heart defibrillators, and the effects on the human body during spaceflight have led to innovations that help with diseases such as cancer, cataracts, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and osteoporosis. And also, robotic surgical procedures can now be applied to patients in remote locations who don't have access to doctors. The space program also gave us a different vantage point of Earth, which pointed out problems with the ozone, deforestation, as well as pollution. In 1962, John F. Kennedy declared that we choose to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And that challenged the nation and instilled a new mindset. It inspired us and required people to come together as a group. And it required far-reaching industries to do things they had only dreamed of. Once again, it inspired us. And that's why we need the space program. Space program gave us the concept of tomorrow, and it resonated throughout the country in movies, magazines, books, TV, as well as theme parks. Space gives us jobs, as well as answers and questions for society. Space transcends borders and increases our awareness of our culture, our world, other worlds, as well as other cultures. Space assists private enterprise. It's good for entrepreneurs. It's good for the middle class. And it's good for the less fortunate, and then it provides solutions. Space has given us Earth as a culture, and that's who benefits. But how much does it cost? In 2012, the federal budget was set at $3,537 billion. NASA's allocation of this was $18.7 billion. That's less than 1/2 of 1% of the federal budget. And in 2014, it's even less. It's been allocated $16.6 billion. That's the lowest in 7 years. In 2009, a taxpayer who made $1 million paid about $812 in taxes to NASA. And taxpayers whose adjusted gross income was $75,000 or less paid less than $13 to NASA. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson has pointed out that the TARP bank bailout of $850 billion is more than the entire 50-year budget of NASA. He points out that space is a $300 billion worldwide industry, and that NASA's portion is a very tiny part of that. But, he says, that's what inspires dreams. Humans have evolved against great odds and have a precious rare gift of existence. But in order to continue to survive, we must continue to explore. World population is now greater than 7 billion, and it's quickly increasing. We're using more resources. CO2 levels continue to rise. There's still diseases without cures, and there's many living in harsh conditions that lack resources. Not as visible is the fact that there's more than 10,000 near-Earth objects, such as comets and asteroids, that have the potential to affect Earth. This is a picture of our moon, showing the side that always faces Earth. This is the backside of the moon that always faces away from us. Notice how many more impacts there are. Asteroids, supervolcanoes, and earthquakes. The universe is a violent place, and we're living in it. NASA's asteroid initiative is searching for procedures that could eliminate or mitigate these threats, or also potentially mine these asteroids and give us more resources here on Earth. The space program aspires the ability to do more with less, and it provides many important advantages to society. But it's not as visible as it was 3 decades ago. NASA would love to achieve more, but it doesn't have the funding or the support to do so. Dr. Tyson has pointed out that we've stopped dreaming, and that NASA needs a mission. A big, crazy, aspirational mission that captures the imagination of the American people. Without that, it doesn't matter how aware people are of NASA being underfunded. John Logsdon of the NASA Advisory Council has pointed out that what's missing is a sense of strategy, a strategic purpose for the organization. What should it be doing? That's the job of a national leader. But what can we do? We can start by being aware of it. We can think about it, read about it, talk about it, and share it. We can let our leaders know that it's important. Abraham Lincoln once said that with public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing could succeed. Information about the space program, as well as its supporters, and some interesting information and pictures can be found at the websites of NASA, the National Space Society, the Space Foundation, the Planetary Society, Space Advocates, Penny for NASA, SpaceX, Orbital Sciences Corp., and Fight for Space, who is producing a documentary to increase awareness about the space program. In conclusion, I've pointed out why we need the space program. It's an investment for society. It gives us innovation. It increases our understanding of ourselves and our world. Space provides solutions, as well as questions that keep us on the verge of discovery. I've pointed out who benefits from it. Space transcends borders. It brings people together. Space brought us Earth as a culture. I've also pointed out how much it costs. It's less than 1/2 of 1% of the federal budget, and the majority of taxpayers in the United States pay less than $13 a year for NASA. The economic value of science and the space program is limited only by ourselves, but not investing in these would be very costly to our society. With support and inspiration, we can achieve solutions enabling the world to be fed, better utility systems, cleaner air, transportation, communication. We can regenerate the body. We can eliminate waste, control the temperature of the climate. We can find things that change the world. 2,400 years ago, Greek philosopher Socrates stated that man must rise above the earth, to the top of the atmosphere and beyond, for only thus will he fully understand the world in which he lives.